Hello, how are you guys doing? It dawned on me the other day that when I've been talking to you, that I have in my Blackboard announcements and stuff, I've been referring to you as awesomes. And I have another video that will come out shortly that will explain why I refer to you like that. But I don't think I've been saying that in my videos as much. So, hello, awesomes. How you doing? I really enjoyed your Project 2 genre analysis. Everyone did a magnificent job. Analysis is always something that's really tough to get at. And so many of you did the compare and the contrast, got really, really close and put two things together and just kind of like came really close to getting that next step of what was the why, the importance, the so what question of those two things, especially as they connect back to the overall goals of each one of the discourse communities. But overall, really, really good performance. I was really impressed, really happy with what you guys are doing. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed reading those. And so my awesomes, I'm going to minimize myself, and I really want to just kind of talk today to you about the launch text research plan. And so, because that's really the main thing that we want to get kind of thinking about, as well as the Ignite video. But at this point in time, I'm really more concerned about launch text. So your first goal here is to secure one or two core sources or launch text. And so the launch text are really the ones you want to focus on. Those are going to be the one that are going to, like, everything else is going to kind of like come from there. So if your research question is very specific, your research question being very specific and narrowing about a specific topic or an area and a particular way that you're looking at it, you want to find two texts that you consider to be the ones call them must reads, right? If you're going to look at this topic, or someone else is going to look at this, it's like you've got to read these two. And there might be three or four, but maybe you get it down to at least two, right? These are seminal, right? And so in your post, you want to briefly summarize in 3 to 4 sentences your launch text, okay? Then you want to identify maybe some keywords, some helpful footnotes or citations that then get you to the rest of your texts, right? So continue to build your answers by forging a research path using the keywords, footnotes, citations you glean from your launch text. And so you'll follow that research path through what's called 5 iterations, or what we call moves. So you have your 2 launch texts, right? And so those, you've got 3 or 4 sentences of each one of those. And those are kind of the meat and potatoes, if you will, right, from which all the other texts are going to kind of derive from. So then you'll kind of show at least 5 moves, right, and then you'll kind of show these other texts. And you might note, like, let's say your third, so you get your 2 launch texts, let's say numbers 3 through 5 or 3 through 6, will then show from where they came from, right? You might maybe some way, like the research path, basically just showing how you connected them. So you could just make a note. This one here was quoted heavily in my launch text, and then refer to that launch text, and then connect those with some of those these keywords, okay? And so then, as you use these tools, you identify at least 5 more texts, noting in your blog the key ideas and topics covered from there. So in other words, by the time that you are done, you should have a total of 6 texts, okay? Minimum. Now you might have 7 or 8. If you feel that 7 or 8 is more beneficial, then do that, okay? And then you might want to have a short thing where you just kind of like describe what are the key connections or differences. This is we might do a little bit of analysis and make your plan for continuing your research. So basically, you should have like a works cited list with at least 6 texts, 2 of which you kind of really more identified as your core texts, right? And then on the other text, you might just demonstrate how those are connected back to to your launch text. In other words, these are the moves. They've come from this research path, started with these 2 texts, and you're kind of showing how they are connected, how they are related from there. So how they derive, why are you using that text? It's a derivative of one of the launch texts in this way. And here are the key words, and here are the key ideas or topics that make that happen. So this thing here is the way it's written here. It kind of sounds like you have to have 3 to 4 sentences on each particular text, and maybe that's possibly true. Just some way that you show these 6 texts, how they're interrelated, and then you just want to kind of show how those key connections are how are all these texts kind of coming together, if that makes sense, okay? Why are you using these 6? It's kind of the big question, right? The first 2, your launch texts, they are seminal texts. They really have to do with what you're talking about. The other texts are related because they are the derivative from, they've quoted them, right? they've got some key research, they have some key ideas or key concepts that make this whole thing kind of all come together. Okay, so you can kind of loosely interpret this, but really what I'm looking for is a works cited page or bibliography, depending on your writing style, of a minimum of 6 texts, and then designating 2 as launch texts, and then showing how the other 3 or 4, the other 4 texts minimum are derivative of, and how they all kind of gel and go together. I hope that that makes sense. It's kind of a weird, it's kind of an interesting, weird thing to do. So, but I think you got this because you're awesome. You can do this. And I'm gonna try to keep, since I want to keep this video really short, I'll put myself back up here. It's the main thing that you've got to do this week. And then I will have time tomorrow, well, I take that back, probably more like on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about the Ignite video and what we're gonna, and how that kind of plays into everything that we're doing right now. So I'll say so long for now. I hope that you have a great weekend, very productive, finding your launch text. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help in any possible way that I can. If you want to meet with me or just whatever, just let me know. All right, awesomes. Have a great day. Bye.